You keep shooting low left. Not every shot, but enough. Enough that you've noticed it, and enough that you've Googled it. And somebody told you it's your trigger finger. And somebody else told you it's your grip. And somebody else told you to slow down your trigger press. And none of this is working. Because the problem isn't your trigger finger. The problem is that your brain knows the gun is about to go bang, and it's doing something about it before you even press the trigger. That's anticipation. That's a flinch. And there's one drill that catches it in the act. No guessing and no, I think maybe I'm doing this drill right. You'll see it right there on the sights. I'm Chris from Make Ready, 23 plus years in law enforcement, and I've taught this drill to beginners, seasoned shooters, and to guys who thought they don't flinch. And I'm telling you right now that most everybody flinches. Almost everybody anticipates one way or another. Most people just can't see it on themselves. All right, champions, let's see it, let's diagnose it, and let's fix it. Here's what's actually happening when you shoot low left. You press the trigger, and somewhere in that press, usually right before the shot breaks, your hand does something, a tiny movement. You push the gun, the muzzle dips, you tighten up, whatever flavor you've got. It's the same thing that's underneath. Your body is bracing for recoil before the recoil happens. That's anticipation. Your brain has been through this 100 times, 1,000 times, and it knows the bang is coming. And it wants to get ahead of it. So here's the problem and how most people try to fix this. Somebody will tell you, press the trigger slowly, press it smoother, focus on a clean break, and you try, you really do. And for a few rounds, it kind of works. And then the next group happen and they're low left. Because slower doesn't fix it. Slower just gives your brain more time to anticipate. You're treating the symptom and you're not treating the cause. And the cause is this: you don't actually know when you're flinching. You think you don't flinch, you feel like you don't flinch, but the round landed low left again. The problem is you can't fix what you can't see. So let's make it something you can see. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I used to argue with instructors about this. I'm not flinching. Put me on camera. I'll run the drill. And they did. They put me on camera and I ran the drill. And I watched the footage. I was flinching like I was getting paid by the flinch. So when I tell you almost everybody does it, I'm including the version of me that swore he never did. All right, let's get into it. This drill is called the 50-50 drill, and this is how you set it up. You're gonna load one round, just one, into the chamber. And then you're gonna remove the magazine completely out of the gun. So now there's one round in the chamber with no magazine. And here's the reason for that. If you shoot one round with the magazine in, the slide will either cycle a new round in or it'll lock it to the rear. Either way, the drill doesn't work. You need the slide to stay in battery after that live round has fired. This is so you can press the trigger again, dry, on an empty gun. That's what the whole trick of this drill is. One live, one dry fire shot, back to back. You're gonna be using the same presentation, the same grip, the same sight picture, the same trigger press. Your brain will not know the difference between the two shots, and that's the point. Because when it doesn't know the difference, it treats the dry fire shot like a live fire shot. And every flinch, every push, every muzzle dip that you do when you're expecting recoil, it all shows up on the second press, right out in the open, nothing hiding it. It's like the gun is a lie detector. The live round is the control question, the dry press is the one that catches you. And most people fail it the first time, but that's okay. That's the point, and that's how we learn. So here's how you run it. You're gonna present the gun to a full extension with the proper grip, proper sights, and your finger is gonna be prepped on the trigger. On a command or on your own timer, you're gonna fire one round, one live round. You're gonna be focusing on the aim and the front sight of your irons or the red dot. Just make that shot. Now, don't break your wrist angles, don't change your grip pressures, keep them constant. Come back to a compressed ready, wrists the same, the grip pressure's the same, everything stays the same. From this compressed ready, you're gonna represent to the target. The sights come back, and as soon as the sights are on target, you're gonna press the trigger again. The key is within 1.5 seconds. That second press, the dry fire one, that's where the drill lives, and that's the whole thing. You need to watch the dot or watch the front sight, whatever you're running. Did the gun dip? Did the sights dip? Did the muzzle dip? Did the sights move at all before your trigger finger finished the press? If yes, you flinched. and you anticipated, you pushed the gun, and now, for maybe the first time, you just saw it happen in real time. That's huge. That's the whole value of this drill. You can't fix what you can't see, and now you can see it. So we haven't gotten to the most important part yet, but coming up, I'm going to tell you why the 1.5 seconds is not optional. It's mandatory. And I'm going to show you the one thing that partners can catch that you will never catch. So stay with me. Let's talk about that 1.5 seconds for a second, because this is where people shortcut the drill and they wonder why it's not working. If you press the dry fire shot too slow, if you wait 3 seconds or 4 seconds, if you hesitate, your brain figures this out. It knows the gun didn't cycle, it knows that there's no round, and it knows that the dry fire press is coming. You're not flinching, you're not anticipating, because your brain isn't expecting recoil anymore. This means the drill is broken if you don't do it within 1.5 seconds. You're just pulling a trigger on an empty gun, and your conscious mind knows it, and it doesn't teach you anything. But inside that 1.5 second window, your brain hasn't caught up yet. It's still expecting the bang. It's still expecting the recoil. And that's when the flinch comes out. That's when the anticipation shows itself via your brain. So the timing isn't arbitrary, it's the keystone. So take a live shot, reset, represent, do the dry fire shot inside 1.5 seconds, and that window is what makes the drill work. You miss this window, the drill tells you nothing. You hit the window, the drill tells you everything. Almost every time I teach this in a class, somebody runs the live fire shot, then stands there for about 3 or 4 seconds thinking about the dry fire press. They do the dry fire press, clean as a whistle, no flinch. And then they say, see, Chris, I didn't flinch. Unfortunately, buddy, you just didn't run the drill. Let's actually run the drill. So don't be that guy. So what are you actually looking for in that second press? As you press that second dry fire shot, you should be focusing on that dot or the front sight. You should lock onto it, and you're watching for 3 things basically. If you see a dip in the sights, that's flinching or pushing of the fire control hand, which is most common. If the dot climbs, you're pushing with the fire control hand. If the dot shifts left or right, the flinch is mainly with the control hand. All of these are a form of anticipation or a sign of a flinch response. What you want to see is no movement, a calm within a storm. You could also see a micro shake as the striker falls. That's tension, and that's your brain telling your hands to get ready. So in the end, you want 0 movement. That's the goal. The striker falls, the sights don't move at all. And that's a clean press. That's trigger control without anticipation. And that's what you're training for. Here's the icing on the cake. You should try to run this with a partner when you can, because some flinches you will not catch by yourself. They're just too small, or you're too focused on the sights and you're not seeing the actual shift of your sights. So having a second set of eyes from the side catches stuff that you'll miss every time. A good partner would tell you your shoulders drop or your thumbs tightened or you push forward 1/4 of an inch or something like that. But that's how you go from knowing you have a flinch to knowing exactly what your flinch looks like and feels like. And once you know what it feels like and looks like, you now can train it out and recognize it when it happens. Rep by rep, shot by shot, until the second press that you press is as still as the first. That's how low left shots go away, not by pressing slower, but by pressing without anticipation. And that only happens once you can see the problem. So if you've been chasing low left groups and nothing's been working, go run this. 1 live round, no magazine, 1 live, 1 dry, 1.5 seconds, and watch the sights. Then drop me a comment and tell me what you see. Did the muzzle dip? Did it still hold? Was it steady? Or were you surprised? I read every comment. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and share this with someone that you think might benefit from it. So let's bring it back. Low left is not a trigger finger problem, it's anticipation. It's your brain bracing for recoil before the recoil happens. And you can't fix it by just pressing slower. You can fix it by seeing it first and then performing the 50-50 drill. This drill will show it to you. 1 live, 1 dry within 1.5 seconds. Same grip, same presentation, same sight picture. And again, the key is your brain won't know the second press is a dry fire press. So the flinch won't be hiding from you. It'll come right out in the open. So watch the dot and watch the sights. 0 movement is the goal, and a partner will catch what you can't see. So that's it. That's the whole thing. I'm Chris from Make Ready. Be well, be safe, and keep training.